somebody wanted to join us. Well, it is Halloween. Might as well bring the black cats. Hi guys, my name is Carla. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. I really wanted to do something cute for y'all. So I actually got this idea from a fellow YouTuber. Her name is Libby and her YouTube channel name is HelloMama, and she's the cutest thing ever. She made a video where she talks about her top 10 favorite movies to watch for Halloween, and I love the idea of the video, so I wanted to go and recreate it as well. So thank you, Libby. I will link her channel down below because she just got to monetization, and I wanted to say congratulations. So if you also love Halloween and love these kinds of videos, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever I make a new video. I'm going to list this out in 3 different categories. The first category is going to be not scary at all. It's going to be a movie that you can watch with your kids, a movie that if you just want to get into the Halloween spirit, you can go ahead and watch these. The second one is going to be a little bit more scary. You can still watch it with older kids, and these movies are going to be more Halloween involved. They're going to be movies that are specifically for Halloween. They were made around this time specifically, and they are going to have just some creepy factors into them, but they're not completely scary yet. Third category, y'all know where I'm going with this, are going to be pop-ups, scary, gory, slasher. Completely, you shouldn't watch these with your kids. Don't watch this at night because you're going to get nightmares. Those type of movies. So those are my 3 categories. And in each category, I have 4 movies. So these are going to be 12 movies altogether that we can watch. So the first movie I really want to talk to y'all about is actually not a Halloween movie. It's actually about Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. This movie is called Coco, and it's by Disney. This movie is about a little boy named Miguel. Miguel wants to be a musician, but he's growing up in a family that has banned music for basically for generations now, and he really wants to be a musician. He admires this man named Ernesto de la Cruz. While trying to prove his talent and trying to escape his family's culture, he ends up in the land of the dead. Funny enough. And throughout this, you end up finding out about his culture, his family, why everything turned out this way. And it's such a beautiful movie. Has amazing music. It's Disney, and it's so colorful. It's such a beautiful movie. I highly recommend this movie. The next movie I want to talk to y'all about is also not a Halloween movie. Technically, it's also a Disney movie. It's the movie franchise Descendants. This movie is about traditional villains and heroes, about their kids. So the villains' kids and the heroes' kids. They have been separated into 2 worlds, Ardon and the Isle of the Lost. The king, or future king, decides to give some of those villain kids a second chance, a chance of redemption, and lets them travel to Ardon. And throughout the film series, you see some characters battle between good and evil, trying to figure out who they really are. Without giving up too much, they do have a lot of big lessons Everybody has good in them. Everybody has evil in them. Third movie I'm going to talk about, it also has a film series, and it's called Halloween Town. Halloween Town is about Marnie and her siblings who find out that they are special. Basically, on Halloween, their grandma, Aggie, comes to visit them, and she's a little bit different. So they follow her and find out about this different world, and it's called Halloween Town. They basically start figuring out that they are witches, and it is so cool. The whole franchise is so cool. I grew up with this. I grew up watching these movies. I love this series. It's so cool. Highly recommend watching it. So number 4 is kind of a little franchise. It has 2 movies to it called Scary Godmothers Halloween Spooktacular. This movie is about, it's these 4 kids or 5 kids go out trick-or-treating, and one of their names is Jimmy. Jimmy has a little cousin named Hannah Marie and is forced to take her, and the kids, they don't want to be with her because she's younger, she's little. They don't want to take her trick-or-treating with them. So what they decide to do is prank her. They tell her to go to this scary house, and when they go in there, she finds something different. She finds her scary godmother, and from there it becomes Halloween just spooktacular, and it's amazing. You see everything that Halloween is about, all the monsters, everything, or creatures. It's amazing. It's such a beautiful movie, and if you love Halloween, you're gonna love this movie. If your kids love Halloween, they're gonna love this movie. It's amazing. I would highly recommend it. That is up for the first category. Now we're gonna go to the second category, which the second category, like I said, is a little bit scarier for older kids. You know, maybe some little kids can watch it with their parents along with them, but this category is gonna be strictly Halloween movies. The first movie is Hocus Pocus. Hocus Pocus is about these 3 witches. They are the Sanderson sisters. They like to feast off of children, which is what keeps them young. So they have been asleep or dead for 300 years. After 300 years, they have been woken up by this boy named Max Dennison. Max wakes them up because he doesn't believe in this. He just moved to Salem. He doesn't believe in any of this witch stuff. He thinks that they just do it just to bring people to Salem. But it's not true. He accidentally wakes them up, and now they came back after 300 years to terrorize. So him, his little sister, and this girl that he has met that knows like everything about them have to basically defeat them. It's just amazing. The second one of this category is called The Nightmare Before Christmas. The Nightmare Before Christmas is about this skeleton. His name is Jack Skellington. He is the king of the pumpkin patch. So he is all about Halloween. He lives in a town that's all Halloween, and they all prepare for this one day a year. But he has gotten bored of it, and he wants to search for something else. So he goes out and finds Christmas Land. And this is something new to him. So he wants to recreate Christmas. And it's so funny to see these characters, these monsters, trying to recreate Christmas. It's a beautiful movie. It's so cool. It's so funny. It has such a good message. Check it out. It's a Halloween movie and a Christmas movie. It's amazing for this time of year. So if you don't watch it for Halloween, just keep watching it for Christmas. Just watch it. Year-round movie. So good. Third movie in this category, also by Tim Burton. This movie is called Corpse Bride. Corpse Bride is a movie about this man named Victor. Victor is engaged to a woman named Victoria. It's an arranged marriage. They haven't really been around each other for too long, so they are nervous to be around each other. On his wedding rehearsal day, he is really nervous, so he messes up quite a bit, and it seems like everybody's over it, and it's very grim and just a very like romantic era. It's so cool. But he, since he gets so nervous, he decides to go practice by himself in the woods. And when he practices in the woods, he accidentally marries a corpse. And that becomes his corpse bride. It has a great music. It is very blue, kind of like the whole movie is very blue toned for some reason. It's very grim, and everybody just seems to be angry in this movie. It's so cool. I love this movie so much. I still own it on DVD. I still have it. Love it. Highly recommended. Last movie of this category is Edward Scissorhands. Edward Scissorhands is a movie also by Tim Burton. 3 movies from Tim Burton in this category. Edward Scissorhands is about this man who was built by a scientist. Edward is not completed. He was supposed to get his hands last, but he was not able to get them because his scientist passed away. So he's not finished. Edward is very kind. He's artistic. He is very gentle, but because of his hands, he's very misunderstood. Not a lot of people understand him. So throughout the movie, you see him kind of trying to understand this world, and you see other people trying to understand him in a different way. Even though he's artistic and kind, he's outcasted because he's different. So you see everybody trying to understand him. You see him trying to understand others. It's a beautiful movie. For some reason, they play this around Christmas as well. Christmas is on it. I mean, it's cool, but it's such a beautiful movie. Highly recommend this one as well. This last category, you cannot sit down with your kids unless they're like teenagers or you think they're not gonna have nightmares. This last category is strictly for scary movies, PG-13, R-rated movies. I would not suggest sitting down with your kids with this. I would not. Very scary movies. I love scary movies. So they're going to be in basically least scary to most scary in this category. That way you can see, where you're at. The first movie that I have loved, I used to watch this a little bit kind of as a kid. I could only watch parts of it because I couldn't understand most of it. It was too graphic for me. Not super scary. It's just the language used, some of the things used. It's a little bit more creepy than anything else, and it's called The Craft. The Craft is basically about this girl. Her name's Sarah. She moves to this town, and she finds out that she has telekinetic powers. She has always known this, but while seeing it, 3 witches, or want to be witches, they see that they have been searching for their 4th member. They need the 4th member in order to basically all have powers. So they have been searching for their 4th member. They see this and they want her. So Sarah and these 3 witches start kind of doing things with powerful things, but at a point it starts to get a little bit too much. They get power hungry. It ends up getting out of hand. It gets crazy in this movie. If you don't like bugs, don't like snakes, it gets kind of crazy. There is blood in this movie. just a little, but not too much. There's this part in this movie and there's snakes coming down and in the greenhouse, and it's crazy, and I did not like watching that movie because I did not like watching that part in the movie because I don't like snakes, and it makes me feel like, it makes my skin crawl. But that's the feeling you want to get during Halloween, then go watch this movie. It's really cool. The next movie is Scream. Scream is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I love the Scream franchise. There's 4 movies, but they have the original trilogy, and then they came out with the 4th one. This movie is directed by Wes Craven, and if you don't know Wes Craven, he made some very, very scary movies that you might be familiar with. The Scream franchise is about this girl, her name's Sydney. A year after her mom passed away, they start getting terrorized. Her and her friends start getting terrorized by this slasher, and who uses the scream face. And he calls them, he asks them, what's their scary movie? What's their favorite scary movie? He terrorizes them right before he kills them. What I love about these movies is that I feel like all the movies have built up on each other. Each movie gets, not necessarily gets better, but adds to it and makes the first one better. I love the heroine in this movie, Sydney. She just keeps fighting. It's so cool. Highly recommend it if you haven't watched it. So the third one in this category is It. You probably have heard of It. It is was made in, there's the original, and then there's the one that came out a couple years ago, and then it came out, chapter 2 came out this year. The original It came out in 1990, and honestly, it's not as scary. It's really creepy. It's about a clown, a demon clown, basically, that terrorizes these kids. These kids are the Losers Club. He comes back every 30 years to eat or feast on them, on their fear. And basically, these losers have to defeat it. He comes back every 30 years. So in the original, he came back 30 years later, and they have to defeat it again. And it's really cool. You see how they grow. You see different parts of it. It's really cool. You see how this town is really weird. There's something going on, and as soon as you leave, everybody wants to leave, and as soon as you leave, you forget all of it. So you have to come back 30 years later after they have forgotten. So I don't want to spoil too much out of it, but that's basically what It 1990 is about. So, it came out a couple years ago. They made a remake, and the remake is amazing. So amazing. I love what he did with it, because the original was made for TV, so they had to cut a lot of parts out. They had to cut a lot of things that were in the book out just to keep it more TV safe and more TV not so bad. And they had to they didn't go so much in depth, and also they couldn't make it as long. What Andres did, he split it up into 2 parts. It chapter 1 came out a few years ago, and this is based on just the kids. Basically, again, it's about the Losers Club, and this time it tells you more on what it really is. It shows more of how he shapeshifts. It shows more about his story. It shows more about the kid's story and the kid's fear. You get to learn more about them, which I really like. I love the child development, and I love the character development in it, and the child actors are amazing in this film. Things that they have done to this movie, it's just, oh my god, it blows my mind. It's so crazy. Love this movie. Can't wait to watch the second one. Yeah, go watch it. So now that I did all of that, let's get to the last one. Oh my god. this, I have this franchise. I have not watched all the movies in this franchise because it's just so crazy, so scary. Okay, so number one is The Conjuring. Oh, so The Conjuring is about these investigators, and the whole franchise is about these investigators. Their names are Ed and Lorraine Warren. They were real people. They were paranormal investigators. Oh my god, I'm like so freaked out now, like talking about this. I'm so freaked out. Okay, they were real people. This is based on a true story. Some of the Conjuring, some things in the Conjuring franchise are based on true stories. Some of them were not. I have watched some that were not, and I honestly do not recommend them. Some of them I do recommend. There's so many movies in this franchise, but I'm going to talk about basically The Conjuring. Conjuring starts, so it does follow them, but The Conjuring starts off with this family who just moved into this house. Well, what they don't know is that this house is actually haunted. Family calls off Ed and Lorraine to come and basically help them out. Well, while they're helping them out, crazy shit just keeps happening. Very paranormal, very creepy, very weird. Oh my gosh. So, if you want to get scared, watch this franchise. There's enough movies that you can watch them for like a whole week. You'll be good. Woo. Thank you so much for watching. This was very, very, I love talking about Halloween. I love Halloween in general. I don't like talking about crazy, creepy shit because I am, but I love Halloween, and I want to thank y'all so much for watching this video. Thank you to Libby for inspiring me to make this video. Go check her out. Her link will be down in the bio. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you like these kinds of videos. Comment down below what's your favorite scary movie. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm making a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.